You're listening to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey with local credit experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. Now, here's Jason and Damon.
Welcome back to The Credit Pros on the Real Estate Radio Network. I'm here with Chris and Damon, and we're going over a lot of tips for you today. FICO revealed its scoring model. Chris has given some real estate advice. And the phones are lighting up, which is actually kind of exciting, Damon.
It is very exciting. And without further ado, we want to get some of these folks off hold because they've been sitting on hold for some time. So right now we have Jennifer B. from West Orange. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine, thank you. What can I help you with?
All right, well, I'm having a little bit of a mortgage issue. I'm a good person, but I'm a little bit couple months late on my mortgage. But I just feel like my house isn't worth for what I'm actually paying for. How do I fix this?
That's actually a good question. We seem to get a lot of that, and I'm going to pass it over to the expert. Chris, what do you think about that?
Sure. Jennifer, my first question is, this is an owner-occupied property, correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. So there's one gift that the government is giving us, and it is the loan modification. It's the HAMP loan modification program.
Okay.
And here's the problem. You may be able to reduce your payment substantially.
Really?
But if your house is upside down, and you said, again, you owe substantially more than you think the house is worth today.
Right.
Then even if we can lower your payment, and I've got a staff in my office, and we're doing lots of loan modifications. We're getting 2% and 3% interest rates. What they're not doing, what they promised to do, what they said was available, was lowering that principal balance. So the net result is, if we can get your monthly mortgage payment down, you're still essentially renting your house because you're so far upside down, it's going to be a very, very long time before you own it.
Oh.
It's nasty.
Yeah, so what do I do?
Well, look, if you got an emotional attachment to this house, if you love this house, let us do an analysis, find out what your potential payment would be, and then decide, would you rent this house for this new payment? So let's say your payment, and I'm just going to use some general numbers here. Let's say you're paying $2,600 a month in your mortgage, and you can't afford that. But you know what? You can afford $2,000. So if we were able to reduce that to $2,000, would you want to rent your house for this new $2,000 number? If the answer is yes, then great. Go ahead and let's do that loan modification. Let's get you that reduction. But if you wouldn't rent this house for $2,000, if you can get a much nicer house rented for $2,000 in this new real estate market that we have, well, then you're probably better off doing a short sale on your property instead of the loan modification.
Oh. All right, well, that makes sense.
Benefit of the short sale is she's out quickly and then in renting something really new and perhaps nice.
Yeah, and a little cheaper, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that $2,000 a month payment, that new payment, is going to be enough to rent you a house that's nicer than the one you have now, that you can afford, and then you can save up in a year or two, buy a house just as nice as the one that you have now, except actually have a reasonable mortgage on it.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate you taking the time to call the Credit Pros. And Chris, why don't you give your number in case she wants to get in touch with you direct?
Sure. My law firm is 973-866-3400. It's me, and I have two associates, two other attorneys who work for me, and any of us would be happy to help you out.
And Jennifer, we'll put you back on hold so you can give your information to our staff that's here in the studio, and maybe his staff will give you a call.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen.
Great talking to you, Jennifer.
All right, bye.
We're going to go back to the phones right now. We have a few different callers on hold. We're going to go to Tony from Morristown. Tony, what's up? How can I help you, bud?
Well, I'm trying to buy a house right now, and my credit score, unfortunately, is lower than I thought it would be, and I'm looking just for kind of a quick way to get it higher because I'm buying a house, and really, money's no object. I can do whatever, spend whatever. Just what do I do to get my credit score up quickly?
Well, it sounds like you're in a little bit of emergency. You're looking to close pretty quick, huh? Like in the next 30 days or so?
Yeah, we're already under contract, so I got to get this thing up to get the mortgage going.
Have you seen a copy of your credit report? Do you know particularly what's wrong with it? Like, do you have debts that you can pay off?
Well, there is some debt I can definitely pay off on there, and also I think I don't have the. I know you guys talk a lot about credit utilization. I don't think I have as much money on there as I possibly can.
Okay, so there's a couple things. Number one, obviously you want to get some more lines of credit, or you want to pay down what's maxed out. That's simple. So like I said before, you can change your utilization rates either by paying off your debt or by increasing your lines of credit. So that'll help with you. And if you want, you can do authorized user accounts. You can piggyback on your mother's or your relative's credit card for the short term just to raise it quickly.
That's a good idea. Listen, let's stay on that. I think that he should do something emergency. Ask everyone that you know, that you trust, if they can add you as an authorized user. Write it down, take a note, authorized user, because you're going to immediately get a lot of positive credit.
I usually don't recommend it because I want my clients to be in charge of their own credit profile. But if it's a parent or loved one or someone that you know is not going to go crazy and not pay their bill, it's a quick way to add credit. And you also get the age of that credit card also. So it's not like it's a new account. It's actually a long-standing older account, which also helps you.
Now, here's where I get creative, and I'm going to give you a solution to the problem. That's where I get nasty. So what you need to do is we need to take apart the credit report and take a look at some of the collections if you have them, some of the charge-offs if you have them, and we are going to go attack those. We're going to get on the phone with your mortgage broker, because your mortgage broker, whether he knows it or not, has a wonderful resource available to him. It's called the Rapid Rescore process. Only mortgage companies are able to do a rapid rescore process. I know what you're thinking. You have no idea what I'm talking about, and I understand. A rapid rescore is a function that allows your mortgage company to take your documents and give it directly to the credit bureaus and update your information and your score within 72 hours.
So what'll happen?
Wow.
It's fantastic. So what'll happen is, we'll find out what debt you owe. And then I'll get on the phone, or your attorney or someone will get on the phone, and what you'll do is you'll offer to pay off these debts in full at this, immediately, but you're only going to do it in exchange for a deletion letter. Not a settled letter, not a paid as agreed, not a satisfied letter. You want the thing deleted from the credit report in exchange for you paying them this debt. It doesn't always happen. I'm pretty good at it because I'm an attorney, I guess, and I know what to say.
And handsome. That's why, too.
Exactly. We use a video conferencing phone call. And what ends up happening is you can get this from collection companies because they just want their money. So if you phrase the argument correctly and you can actually show some leverage that you have on your side, like things they did improperly, they will immediately delete this. You take it with the rapid rescore. That process, in combination with maybe getting some higher credit limits, like authorized user accounts in the short term, you should be financeable within a week or two.
That's what we're talking about. We will get you over the hump. Credit restoration doesn't need to take you 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 6 months. We can get it done for you in emergency cases very quickly, sometimes as quick as 72 hours. So do me a favor, give us a call. Listen, we're happy to help you. Pick up the phone on Monday morning. Call us at 973-771-5118. Thanks so much for calling the Credit Pros, and good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Just not to change topics, because what Tony was talking about is exactly what we're bringing up in our Credit True False game. So let's hit that music.
It's Credit True or False.
And I want to go into the first Credit True False, why we're kind of on the topic of what Tony was talking about. So why don't you read me the first True False question, Damon, and we can fly right into it.
Awesome. So here's the first Credit True False of the day. As long as you pay your credit cards off, your score goes up.
That's false.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't let Tony think that was a solution. What happens is, obviously, you pay it off, utilization rates go down. But the credit card companies only report once a month. So if today is, what's today, the 20th? Today's the 20th, right? If you pay off your entire balance today, that's fine. But if the credit card companies report the balance once a month on the 15th, then even though you paid it off, the credit score is not going to reflect your payoff until the 15th of next month.
That's right.
So when you pay it off, that's really not typically a solution. I guess it could have been, because you could always try to do a rapid rescore with a payment letter for the credit card companies, but utilization rates as far as paying down a bill, unless you're extremely maxed out on it, is not really the key to find the most points. It's more so upping your levels or even paying off some debt that you have, like collections.
And some advanced level stuff. And we talked about this before. There's some games that you can play, even if you are carrying high limit debt on all of your credit cards. You find out when those credit cards report, you could pay them off strategically to have them all report as a zero balance. That is advanced level. I am mind screwing people. I know. If you're listening to me, I'm sorry.
But if you're ever going to buy something and you have a little bit of time to plan for it, know when your credit card companies report. Make sure you pay it off on the 14th.
Sure, play their game. Why not? We're going to dive into another credit, true or false. Going over limit on credit card is okay because a credit card company authorized my purchase.
That is false because you're still upping your utilization rate. But the good news for those who don't know this is when they change the credit card laws, you're no longer going to be charged on a consumer credit card for going over the limit, because now they can no longer charge you over limit fees unless you specifically signed off saying it's okay to charge me over limit fees.
Which if you do, then you're a schmuck and deserve them.
Exactly. You deserve to pay the $35. Now, the credit card company can make the choice. They might not let you go over, but if they decide to let you go over, there's no expense to you.
That is real deal information, folks. You're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio. If you have a problem with your credit, if you have concerns, if you have questions about consumer credit, real estate, investment, your money in general, pick up the phone and give us a call. 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118. We're going to leave the credit true or false realm, and I know we're going through a lot of stuff. Get a pen, write it down. I'm sorry, Jason, but I wanted to talk about something that we've been talking a little bit more about here lately, and I think it's an important topic for people to understand, because just like credit repair, bankruptcy has a negative stigma attached to it. People think that bankruptcy is a four-letter word, just like credit repair. And the reason why is because in the past perhaps it has been. But there's a reason that the bankruptcy code exists. There's a reason that our federal government has given our consumers the opportunity to declare bankruptcy and get a fresh start. I think that there are a lot of misconceptions out there. And as a credit repair company, make no mistake, we spoke about this before, bankruptcy is damaging to your credit report. Make no mistake, but it is not the end of the world.
And not to mention, if you're at the point where it's on the forefront of your mind, your credit's already damaged. So you might as well clean the slate and start fresh.
So when is the right time to declare bankruptcy? That's the question here. When is the right time?
Chris is the expert.
What I get a lot is people who come in who are doing foreclosures, and they're in the foreclosure process. Maybe they're doing a short sale, and they want to file a bankruptcy. And bankruptcy is not the solution to a foreclosure. Your house will not suddenly wipe out the debt. You will still have that mortgage will still be attached to that property. That foreclosure will still move forward. All you're doing is buying yourself some more time in that process.
Through bankruptcy stay. They'll get a little bit of buffer room there.
Correct. If someone comes to me and says, I need to get, I got a sheriff's sale next week, I need some time to figure this out, I don't want to get kicked out of my house, then bankruptcy suddenly becomes a more appealing option. I also ask the question, okay, you're in foreclosure, what else is going on?
Right.
If the answer is, well, I also have $20,000 in credit card debt and I also have $8,000 in medical judgments, then that sounds like the right plan for bankruptcy. But at the same time, I'll have somebody and they'll be behind on their mortgage, and I'll say, well, what else do you have? Do you have any credit card debt? No. Do you have any medical payments? No. Well, then maybe bankruptcy is not the right thing for you. Just because you're in foreclosure doesn't mean that you should file bankruptcy. I have an attorney in my office who focuses a lot on bankruptcy. His name is David Dockery, and I always defer to him because he's got a lot more experience in bankruptcy than I do. But one thing I never allow us to be is a bankruptcy first alternative firm. See, most bankruptcy attorneys out there, that's all they do. That's what they focus on. If you walk in and say, should I file a bankruptcy? Their answer is always yes.
They're throwing you under the bus and driving right over.
That's what they do. That's what they do. If you got an ear, nose, and throat the doctor and you say, I got a cough, he says, well, it must be, part of your throat. Well, right. That's what he does and that's what he sees. Bankruptcy is absolutely the right choice sometimes, but it's not the automatic, particularly when you have a situation that, I'm in foreclosure, well, then I should also file a bankruptcy.
Right. One of the things that Jason and I like to talk about, and bankruptcy is not what we do, but if you are considering a bankruptcy, you need to speak with someone who understands bankruptcy. Do not middle around with not not-for-profits or people that don't know or people that are not attorneys.
Another important thing, just to for a sidebar, is the fact that if you're thinking about it but you're not sure and you haven't got an expert advice, yeah, you could always file and then withdraw. But remember, even a dismissed filing shows up and stays on your credit report for 10 years. It's just like a discharged bankruptcy.
Right.
So if you're not sure and you think you're just going to do it now and get some advice not to do it later, don't get the advice first, because you're going to have the effect on your credit report even when you decide not to do it.
And don't file bankruptcy yourself. It's not really meant for people to do. You can do your own root canal if you want to.
There's a lot of things you can do. But.
Right. And I wanted to just get to the one fundamental point. It's really not about the dollars and cents aspect of it. I'm of the opinion that if you have debt in your life that is preventing you from sleeping, if it's at the forefront of your mind in everything that you do during life, and you can't move on, and it's become such a roadblock, an impediment to your daily activity, and it's hurting you and your family, then this is something that perhaps you should consider. It is not the end of your world. It is just another chapter in your life. And the sooner that you put these issues of debt behind you, whether it be through a negotiation, whether it be through bankruptcy, whether it be through just defaulting on your debt, whatever it may be, or paying it, which is probably the best thing to do, the sooner that you put these issues with debt in front of you, then quickly behind you, the better off you will be. So that's it for this week on the Credit Pros.
That's Damon's 5 cents.
Thank you. That's me pontificating. I want to thank you again for joining us another week at the Credit Pros Credit Repair Company.
Damon, Jason, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I really had a good time.
If anyone has any legal questions or any concerns, or if you want to talk about New Jersey investing, bankruptcy, or fixing your property taxes, give attorney Chris Goodson a call. His office is in Montclair, and his number is 973-866-3400. Again, 973-866-3400, or on the web at njreclub.com. And again, call Jason and Damon, the Credit Pros. Happy to help you with your credit problems, concerns, and questions every week here on 1250 AM, 7 to 8. Or give us a call at 973-771-5118, 973-771-5118, or on the web at creditrepair.to. Thanks. We'll talk to you next week, and have a wonderful week.
Bye, New Jersey.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us. For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. The preceding program was paid for by Real Estate Radio Network. The hosts are not an employee of WMTR or its parent company, Greater Media. The views and opinions expressed on the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. Station management has not investigated the claims made in financial service spots that may air during this program. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major financial decision.